Hi.
So today we're going to show a new game.
It's not new. Right, hi. So today we're going to... Yeah. So for today we're going to show off RuneScape. So simply put, she just got a great new PC, custom built, and it's allowing me to play RuneScape on great definition. It's really great. So previously I was playing RuneScape on Mac, and we all know that Macs aren't built to handle stuff like that. So now you can see that it's all in great high definition. Okay, so I'm going to put on some... Oh, the music track. Alright, right. So we're going to jump into Arch-Glacor, which is the new boss. I love how, like, you know, it's called Arch-Glacor, right? And like JGEX managed to get everyone to pronounce the C as a soft C instead of a hard C, which never ever happens when the C
You mean like Glacor?
Yeah, before the letter O. And the worst part is that the most coveted drop is called the core, the Glacor's core, which sort of like annoys the shit out of everyone if you continuously keep saying that. Right, so...
Can you tell us what Rockman does?
Right, so this is a Steel Titan. It basically is a familiar, and it deals lots of damage. It helps you deal damage. It's not as good as some of the other more expensive familiars, but it's good if you need a ranged attacker. And when you're dealing with Arch-Glacor, what you need is ranged.
What's he gonna do? Throw rocks?
That's the thing, like I never believed that he was a ranged attacker because he absolutely doesn't look like it, but he is one.
This is...
Yep. Yeah. So there you have it. Alright, so I'm
It's like standing there?
yeah, so he stands on the aqueduct, yeah.
What's he doing? Like, why is he...
So he doesn't attack because this is one of 5 mechanics. This is the Frost Cannon. You can see that he transforms to the Giant Cannon. And all you need to do is to take that hit, simply put. He will shoot 1 insta-kill hit at you, 3 if you're playing hard mode. And then you have to find a way to get the damage away from you. So there are many ways you can do that. So now he summons minions, and he is immune to damage while the minions are there. So what you do is you get rid of the minions. Yeah. Because it's part of the mechanics of beating the boss. Like
it's like compulsory damage.
Yeah, and you can't proceed until you get through the mechanics. Yeah. So over here, what we're just going to do is so it focuses on attacks. So this is the third one of the other mechanics, the one that everybody hates, where the Glacor starts attacking you more rapidly. It's okay for now. In hard mode, the damage racks up really fast. So for now, we're just going to do a kill on easy mode while I get the hang of all of the controls. And this is with 5 mechanics turned on as well. So 5 mechanics is the most normal mechanics on this boss. Okay, so when the ice starts creeping in from the left of your screen, this is the one that I hate the most. It's the one that my character has died to many times. Yep, so it's called creeping ice. These pillars of ice will start creeping towards you, and it will start draining and sapping all of your health and prayer. What you need to do is to run around it, and because it starts following you, so it gets really annoying. Yeah. Right, and then this one, it's the Frozen Core. Basically, you have to destroy either the left arm or the right arm. They have different weaknesses, and you have to do that before the damage taken by the core in the middle is too high. Yep, and then you run away, and then the core retreats back into the Glacor itself. Yeah, because he's trying to expose the core part of his body.
Why?
The core will damage you because it's freezing cold. Right? Yeah. So this is the Frost Cannon again. There's a different way to not take that damage, which is to block it with a single special hit. It's called Devotion. Yeah, it's the one that more people reliably can use. Some of the hits are his, but because I'm using the same attack style as the Steel Titan, so it doesn't show off it's not as obvious.
Yeah, but he's just waving his arm.
Yeah, he's definitely doing damage. So sometimes I prefer to use the Ripper Demon familiar, but that guy, Ripper Demon, is much more expensive. He's literally 100 times more expensive to use within the same hour as Steel Titan. And for yeah, so you can see over here it says 51 minutes on the wolf icon, so that's how long more I have. It's how much money you are willing to spend. Some of the more expensive familiars are very expensive, but they can get the job done. The reason why I chose Steel Titan for this is simply because I want ranged damage. That's damage with a bow and arrows, or in my case crossbow. Yeah.
Why does left and right axis?
I have no idea actually. It's just good for I guess it's just good if you're not it's just good if you know you happen to be using the style, the recommended style for the arms. But as you can see here, right, because I'm using a crossbow, the left arm is weak to fire spells, magic, and then the right arm is weak to crush, which is a melee style. Yeah, and none of that is ranged, so I'm using ranged. Yeah. So once again we have because ranged in RuneScape is objectively speaking the highest DPS in the game. It stands way above the other styles of damage, which is really strange because melee is also good for burst damage, but it's not good for constant long-term damage, whereas range is far better for constant damage. Right, so I defeated him, and when you defeat him, you get three drops if you're playing solo. So these are the 3 drops.
It was not obvious that he was defeated.
It was not
He just
obvious.
let.
You are absolutely right. It's not as obvious. So now that I got a hang of it, I'm going to prep for hard mode. It's effectively the same.
Hey, he's back!
Yeah, he respawns in 20 seconds. So yeah.
For farming.
Yeah. That was the easy mode. I say easy mode, but it's, you know, yeah. That was the straightforward battle. What you can do is you can go for the harder. Yeah, I had to eat stuff to get rid of inventory space to get the drops, which is yeah. Right. Oh, you mean okay? So when you defeat the minion, you get some. You can put out some bonus recoil damage onto the boss by clicking the little yellow orbs. So it's just a little bonus. It's actually quite negligible. Yeah, it's actually quite negligible.
Who are those other creators?
Right, so these are the other 3 bosses I have chosen. So this is your current, so this is your current assignment by the Grim Reaper. Currently I have no active assignment. He gives assignments and you get points in return for defeating bosses. Yeah. No, he's outsourcing. He's literally outsourcing, that's why you get points in return and you can spend it at his shop and buy high-end jewelry. This is the Magister. He is a short, angry human. Yeah, he's basically a human character. Yeah, and he's just not very happy. And this is the Blackstone Dragon, one of my favorite bosses. It's just a dragon coated in blackstone. He gets she gets unbearably angry, and then you have to try to find a way to eliminate her. So it's one of my favorite bosses for farming. Yeah. So I'm going to click hard mode on. As you can see here, my highest enrage so far is 223. I'm thinking of trying to get to 250, but I need a lot of time and effort to prepare.
So Ice Guy like gets angrier with you every time you defeat it.
Yes, I can explain the enrage mechanics as we go along. So when you start hard mode off at 0. You can customize out what you want, but you start off at 0 in my case. And what happens is that every time you defeat him, you're offered the opportunity to take the loot that you have earned, or gamble that loot on your next kill. So on the next kill, you'll be invited to fight the boss at a slightly higher percentage, like about 5 to 10% more. Sometimes can be a lot more. Like I've ever received like 20% more on the next kill. Yeah, and that's not very pleasant. Yeah, okay. So in any case, then what happens is that for the enrage mechanics, the loot does stack up a lot. The loot is often dependent on your current streak, so how many times you've killed the boss without dying. If you die, then a majority of the items will be lost. You will have some items may be saved, but it does depend on your current streak. So if like your streak is very low, then barely any items will be saved. If your streak is high, fortunately, you can save up to 75% of items in the loot chest. So it's not the end of the world, but it's still very painful because 75% of items means that if you get a unique item, that unique item will be lost because 75% of one is not an integer. Yeah. So often if you see a good item that you want to keep, you have to keep it. And the problem with this boss is that a lot of people are not getting the required items for crafting. The items that the boss drops basically can be crafted into high-end weapons, but you have to fight the boss a lot of times. Yeah, you can see that minions actually have a lot more health in hard mode. Yeah. So in order to get rid of the minions, quickly you use this thing called a chinchompa, which is like RuneScape's version of a chinchilla. Basically, they explode and do AoE damage. Yeah, they're soft and fluffy and they explode. So what you need to do then is to keep going through all of the mechanics. DPS is a bit slow. I'm getting used to this. I think my fastest kill in hard mode was like 2 minutes. So you can see the boss timer here. Yeah. So the Pillars of Ice is a lot harder on hard mode because there will be a third beam that will eventually spawn. So you can see the third beam will creep up very close to you. So you're gonna have to find a way to not get hit. And the damage is almost outright fatal in higher end rages, which is really annoying, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which side?
It doesn't matter because, like you can see here, it tells you that the weakness is crush, but I don't have a crushing weapon on me right now. My weapon is the crossbow, so it doesn't actually matter at all. It's neutral otherwise if you can't meet the. Yeah. But weaknesses in RuneScape, once you have high end weapons, weaknesses don't really play a significant role anymore. Because weaknesses only count for accuracy, not for outright damage most of the time. Exceptions to that. Yeah. So in the storyline, this guy isn't really the eyes. The monster itself is the core, and then the core is able to conjure up solid eyes around it as armor to protect the core.
So it is for protection, why do we take it out?
Because it's its most powerful weapon. Yep. So you can see here, once the boss is
done?
Yeah, the boss is done. There was a huge HP bar at the top. Right. So once the boss is done, you can claim your reward at the. So this is the current loot. So this is a manuscript. It's one of the rare rewards in the game. Basically, it's used to charge up a powerful book that you can use to attack. Right, and then what you do is that you can claim it, or you're invited to continue the challenge. And if you click continue, then you'll be told how much enrage the boss will be improved by. So now that's the problem. For every enrage that the boss is increased, the boss gets 740 more HP. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it will stack up massively once you hit like 100%, 200%, and even in the mid hundreds. Yeah. So try not to get see how much you're comfortable with. Especially like right now I'm on new setup, so I don't think I can do anything past 100 too confidently. I still like get random one-hit KOs whenever my computer lags. Yeah, but I feel that once I'm comfortable with this setup, because this computer setup is really new, I do appreciate it, and I can see that the frame rate is a lot better, the graphics is way better. Yeah, it just also means that I just died a HD death. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that there's a chance that I can play a lot better and a lot more comfortably on this setup, so I'm very thankful to her for this. This is great. Yeah. So now, the thing about this boss is that it's actually designed as a learner, as a boss for learning. You can see that it's once you get the hang of the mechanics and you know what to do. A lot of this is really muscle memory. I'm just a bit slow because I have to adapt to a much bigger screen and not a laptop. But it's great. Like right now, I can see it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, and I am hearing the music. I don't play with sound on. On the MacBook, I have enough problems to worry about, and sound cannot be one of them. Because honestly, while RuneScape has improved sound recently, in the past few years, it also takes up a lot of bandwidth. And if your computer is struggling to play the sound, then who knows what other things it will be struggling with. Answer is a lot. Yeah, you see the HP bar at the top. It also tells you the current enrage. Yeah. So for every enrage, the boss will get 740 more HP. There are a few other nifty and it will deal like a bit more damage. The damage will stack up. Now there are a few more problems with high enrage. At 250%, the boss will spawn an extra minion that will make things really annoying. Yeah. And then the group of 4 minions becomes 5, and the 5th minion actually has way more health than the first 4, which I don't say anything about it. So yeah, so this is the flurry mechanic that I spoke of. The boss will just start dishing out a lot of damage in a short burst, and there are ways to get through the damage, but once you're at about 150 or 200%, a lot of the damage outright becomes fatal in one hit. So you have to find a way to reduce the damage. The best way obviously is to protect from the correct damage with the various protection prayers, but because we're on low end rage, my preference is just to use this healing spell called Soul Split and get rid of the heal myself while I deal damage. Yeah. So the Pillars of Ice is the one that I die to the most because on a slow computer, it's absolutely brutal. The graphics don't load right, and when they do, you can see like right now, it seems like I can dodge them really, really smoothly. This is absolutely not the case if the computer is slow or like yeah. You can see that when he drops the core, the frozen core will keep dealing rapid damage.
Yeah, you see that. Is there a reason you can't attack the core?
Yeah, I guess the core is just this ethereal like being, I guess. Yeah, but the arm is some way that you can escape. See, after defeating the arm, the core goes back, but you still take damage until you escape from the frosted area. Yeah.
The ice part of it.
I guess.
The arm does damage.
I don't know. The arm does damage, but you have to remember that the arm doesn't actually damage the guy itself. The arm just damages it so that you can escape from it. It doesn't contribute to overall damage. So like, yeah, exactly. So minions and the arm don't actually count towards the boss's damage. So it does slow you down a lot, especially if you're trying to go for a very, very fast kill, and then the minions and the core are the first two things on the menu. There are 5 mechanics in total, and the boss will cycle through the 5 mechanics. Not in order, but once you get through 5 mechanics, then the boss will then go through another rotation of the 5 in a random order. Yeah, so you can predict what the 5th one is. Yeah. But because after that, the 6th one will be one of the first 5, but not in the same order, so it becomes a bit trickier. Yeah. Okay, and that's it.
Those ghost things that keep.
Oh, the ghost things is the healing spell. So every time you damage the opponent, you get healed. Yep. So then that was a 12% kill.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you get this stone spirits. Oh, this is actually one of the worst loots.
Right.
Yeah. So stone spirits just help you when you're training the mining skill. Yeah. Okay, so then I elect to continue and then I exit. Yeah, so that's me getting used to this new setup. It's actually quite fun. I can see that the frame rate is a lot smoother. Everything seems a lot better on this, obviously. I can see the snow falling, the particles of the snow falling. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
I realize my head is very close to the screen.